Want to make a video about younger people that are searching for peace way too soon in their life and just what's wrong with that, alternatives, and what awaits on the other side. So why am I even making a video like this? I'm talking to some of my younger friends, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, just younger people, even people that are the same age, maybe a little bit older, that just haven't had a lot of life experience and they're overcompensating with rituals and routines and superficial things. So I'll explain in a second. So I'm gonna use round numbers. Let's say that there's a person who's 20 years old, all right? That person could be any age. It could be 30, 40, 50, it doesn't matter. When you get older, you don't get more resilient. You just get older and closer to death. That's about it, okay? But if you do the right things, you get more resilient and you get better emotionally. So let's say that you have a 20-year-old. They haven't experienced life. They just haven't evolved yet. It's really, really that simple. So they look at three different situations. You have a stressor. You're like, okay, let's use sales, for example. You have sales. You're like, okay, great. Here is the situation where I can feel the most happy. Here's his situation where I hate my life. And here's what I'm looking for, which is the middle ground. I'm trying to feel balanced, and that's where people mess up. So if you're younger, right, and you have less references, you have less emotional experiences in sales, okay? You can use any example you want. Working out, a counselor, talking to people, okay? What's gonna happen, and what a lot of these guys do, is they don't realize that things get easier. So what they do is they look for all these little routines and these little life hacks that is really superficial and it really doesn't fucking matter, okay? So here's the facts. I start sales. Sales sucks. I want to find a way for the pain to stop. Ouch! It stops. What does that look like? It could be meditation. It could be affirmations in the mirror. It could be going for little walks. It could be journaling, right? All these little things. These are subjective on whether or not they do success, okay? I'm not saying there's anything bad about them, okay? Some other things though could be, what is that? Mushrooms, ketamine. Now they're using external stimuli. Why? Because they're like, okay, I'm getting this amount of stress. There's no way I can handle this amount of stress. The alternative just seems terrible, all right? Now, what I'm saying is that there's no routine that you need to be the best. One of the people that actually preaches against routines and all this, like standing on the grass and grounding your feet in the fucking earth and all this like weird shit is actually Alex Hormozi. He talks a lot about it. Just get up and do the work is really all you need to do, okay? Now, I'm not trying to, create a video that's like, hey, burn yourself out and just grind and grind and grind until you die. No. What I'm saying is that there is a future where you don't need to do all that stuff and you don't feel stressed out. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that future where you can do the things you're doing now that stress you out so much, you have a future where you can do them and not be stressed out. And you don't need to do all this weird shit. That's all I'm saying right now. Alex Hormozi saying you don't need to do all these crazy routines. You just get up, you do the work. Okay? If you think, my counter argument, if you think that all those little weird routines and affirmations and journaling and and hugging trees and if it's all necessary, please explain to me all the greats that don't do it. How can Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant wake up? Michael Jordan could sleep 2 hours in a night, which is not recommended for health-wise. He could drink a bunch of alcohol, not healthy. Smoke cigars, he's an athlete, it's not healthy. Gambling, all night, wake up the next day, have the flu, and then win a game by a lot, right? It's just resilience. It's just like the fact that he just put in the work over a consistent amount of time, all right? Everybody says that they want to be like Mike. If you guys were born or you're a teenager in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, what did everybody say? I want to be like Mike, be like Mike, be like Mike. If you go on Netflix and you watch The Last Dance, there's an episode where it talks about how Michael's life really was when he literally was probably one of the most pressure putting people in the world. He had the most pressure put on him than anybody else, the most stress. It's not a big surprise, but it's just when you really see a day in the life where he's going from game and he's getting 1,000 people looking at him, 1,000 photographs. He can't work out without people looking at him. He can't go in the car without people looking at him. He has to always answer the paparazzi, and then he's going to, make a wish to see a kid that's dying, and he's going to see this person and this person. It's like, holy crap. Most people would what? They'd fall down, they have a panic attack, they'd, insert self-limiting belief. They can't handle it. Oh my God, I can't handle it. Tell yourself whatever you want. And then it's true, The fact of the matter is that Michael Jordan viewed pressure as a positive thing. Tim Grover talks about it. Pressure is a privilege. And simply, over time, it's just to put it in really simple words, it got easier. What looks like to you as completely impossible to another guy is like just a day in the life, not easy, okay? But Michael Jordan is in his 60s. He didn't die at 45 years old from a stroke, okay? It didn't damage him irreparably and kill him, right? Someone's gonna come up with some counter argument, but the fact remains, still alive, right? So we'll put it real simple. You're 20 years old. You go and you do these things that make you more resilient. Boop, 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 boop. Now you're 30, okay? Now, you're like, why did I even care about that little weird shit? You don't need to do all those things now. Now you can cut those things out, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger did meditation for a year, and he stopped doing it, right? That's a subjective thing. Now, this could be as simple as, okay, if I'm stressed out, all I'm going to do is I'll just think about my goals, or I'll just snap myself out of it, right? I can't tell you what it is. I just telling you it exists. I can't tell you what it is. It would be pointless for us to make examples, right? And that's why I'm coming up with these facts. Is that one of the biggest lies that I think that I was ever told and everybody was ever told was that it doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. Let me tell you something. If you get stronger, everything does get easier. It gets way easier. Oh my God, it gets easier. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's the biggest lie in the world. Are you kidding? No. Dude, think about something that used to cause you so much anxiety and panic, and now it doesn't even elicit a slight reaction. Dude, I have done more sales calls in most companies that I've worked for than like half of the department. I've hard closed people, I've soft closed people. Opinions aside, I was the guy who was so scared. I'm telling you, I had a visceral reaction when I called the pizza guy on my cell phone. I could not do it. I couldn't do it. I had to hand the phone to my mom because I was so terrified, okay? And we still joke about it because of what I do now. It got easier because I got stronger. So there is a little truth in that, but the fact of the matter is, it feels way easier, all right? Here's my second argument. Everybody's born a baby. You get 2 legs, 2 arms, you have 2 ears, hopefully, a nose, and a mouth, all right? Everybody's born with red blood. Every billionaire was born a baby. Every legend was born a baby. Every super successful person, by any definition, was born a baby. Success, by definition, is stressful, right? That's what everybody says. Think about that billionaire who has every single 15-minute increment of their entire next 3 months scheduled. Boom, 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 boom. High pressure negotiation. Meeting, really important meeting a person that's life or death, talking to somebody about like the company crumbling. Like they go through this and this and this and this, and they what? They get used to it. Otherwise, they won't be in that job very long, right? There's people that can't handle it. They cannot. Again, you could use a counter argument and you could say, hey, what about the billionaires and the people that are living the situation that you just described under all that pressure and they kill themselves. I'd say, great. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the guys that were successful and they do it successfully. Stay with the program, okay? So here was a really, really, really big transformative discovery for me, at least, is I can't remember what book I was reading, but it talked about how they measured the brain activity of Navy SEALs, and they put them in very stressful scenarios, okay? And it did not, what ended up happening was they literally excreted from the brain less cortisol and much less, their adrenal glands were not as activated. They literally did not get as stressed out, and even close to normal people when they were under extreme pressure and under extreme stress. When I read that, I fucking knew it. I knew it. I knew it. That is literally, for you analyzers out there, black and white proof that it doesn't matter if you're born with talent or whatever, you can train yourself to feel totally comfortable in these extremely stressful and high pressure situations. Like, you're not just born super resilient, able to do everything. It's like if you're lifting 100 pounds for your entire life, okay? Keep it real simple. You're lifting 100 pounds for 5 years straight, and all of a sudden, now what? Now you got big arms. The big arms don't leave you, okay? Unless you, like, something freaking crazy, you have to, like, starve yourself to go back to, like, little baby arms. And for the rest of your life, you can now lift 30 pounds with ease, right? But if you start with 10 pounds for the next 5 years and all of a sudden you want to go to 30 pounds, it's hard. It's basic shit. So now what I just did was I presented a hypothesis, I presented my opinion, and I presented a problem, okay? Now, in doing so, I at least need to present a potential solution to how can you do that? Well, that's great, because I also presented earlier that getting older does not make you more resilient, more capable. Otherwise, you'd have people that are 40 just all able to take over the world, 50. But you don't, right? So, the closest thing that I've been able to personally discover, and maybe I'll figure out something new and different when I'm older, is prolonged, consistent physical exercise over a long period of time, right? What specific exercise? I mean, again, we're not going to get super analyzer here talking about VO2 max or interval sprints or anything, or cardio. All I'm going to say is that the most successful people that I look up to, okay, in life, they all exercise, okay? I can't think of a single person that does not have success in multiple areas who does not exercise. Now, if you want to counter argument that, you could bring up who? Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, okay? I would say that those individuals are hyper successful in one area, but it's really like they have to put all their focus in that one area, and because they don't do the exercise, they don't exercise consistently, they're just not, everything else is super subpar, okay? You look at guys like Kobe Bryant, he had an amazing athletic career, and then he also had amazing what? Family life. Amazing family life. He was able to keep it together, and then he was also able to be an emotional support for his teammates. And he did that on like no sleep at all, disproving everything that people have done and researched. Sleep is so critical, sleep is so this, sleep is that. Explain that. All right? Same with Michael Jordan. He could literally like shortcut. He just barely slept, smoked, drank, gambled, did all kinds of stuff, and still performed at best of the best levels. All right? There's more to it, obviously. There's going to be positive thinking. There's all these little tiny micro things that you can really dive into any one of these. But the point I'm getting at is that think about where you were 10 years ago, okay? Think about that. How did you handle stress? What things stressed you out then that don't do it now? I guarantee if you put yourself in the same situation, we were all different human beings 10 years ago. scientifically, this is actually very black and white information, is that every cell in our body, I believe it isn't completely and entirely replaced after 7 years. So after 7 years, you are literally a new human being by definition. So if for any reason you're giving up hope, you're like, okay, look, I'm super stressed out. I'll end it with a positive note. If you're in a situation and you're like, this is stressing me out so much, there is no way that I can continue to do this thing over the next 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years. As long as you continue to search for the right mental processes to get through this resilient thing, this thing that requires a little bit of resilience, you will make it. One of the greatest ways to explain this, and I'm almost hesitant to say this, Angela Duckworth in the book Grit, she talked about basically, and again, I'm hesitant to say this because once I say this, a lot of people are going to think, oh, so I don't need to do hard things. It's not what I'm saying. Angela Duckworth says that it's not actually putting yourself through these extremely stressful events that is what's going to create this extreme resilience. She's saying that it's going through the event and then finding the correct mental processing, the correct thought, the correct whatever, okay? But the point is two things. Number one, you got to go through the thing, okay? You can't just like sit on your couch and think and be an armchair philosopher, okay? And then be like, oh, you know what? I think that's how you become extremely resilient, and that's how you're able to handle this pressure. No, you have to go through it, right? Be a practitioner, not a philosopher. And for lack of a better analogy, you have to build the rocket while you're climbing it, while it's ascending, okay? You cannot, why do people, they fucking try to build a rocket on the ground? It's impossible. And if it is possible, it's certainly not a life that I want to live. So, I'm going to reiterate again, if you're going to something hard and you think that you're not going to make it, I promise you, stay curious, stay resilient, be positive. You can make it. I promise you, it doesn't matter what you're going through. If you go through something for 6 months, you will get adjusted to it, okay? Keep looking for answers, and it will get better. You will get stronger, and it will get easier. It will literally get easier. Now, easier is different than easy, okay? It will never get just like, there's no day that somebody's gonna all of a sudden like be so great at sales that all of a sudden they're not gonna feel fear and pressure and all those things door knocking, okay? But don't let that discourage you. It gets much, much, much less, and you have so much more strength and so many more thoughts and so many more resources to pull from, both intrinsically and existentially, that will make it so much easier. So, it gets better with time. Stick with it. Talk soon.